Welcome to another episode of,
Ray and Nev,
and this episode is a little different. Why is it a little different?
because I think we're live now, right?
Yeah, we're going live. We're going live every Thursday at 5 o'clock.
That's what we said last week, right?
Yeah, how do you feel?
Feels like a regular episode.
All right, well, cool. Because first of all, we got our drink. So, shout out to Tom for the drink. He gave me this for my birthday. This is Romia out of Canary Islands in Spain. So, it's really good. It's really good. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Let's talk about sellers. Everybody says it's a seller market, right? So let's talk about them.
Let's talk about that. Do you think it's a seller's market?
Of course, I do believe it's a seller's market. With the amount of supply and demand that we have far more people actually shopping to buy a home than there are homes on the market.
That's true. So supply and demand automatically by default creates a seller's market.
Exactly.
Now, do you think that sellers don't understand that even though it's a seller's market, they don't understand what seller market means based on what we're seeing recently?
Yes, I think in the aspect of they think it's a seller's market. So anything I put in the market is going to sell, no matter what condition it is, no matter what we do behind the scenes to make it happen. It's just going to sell. When I believe that's 100% not right.
Well, I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong in a sale. So,
yeah,
seller will say, well, I can sell it for this much. And then at the end of the day, it doesn't appraise.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes an issue. Oh, well, guess what? We're going to do a no appraisal contingency, and then that also becomes an issue because then you have a buyer that needs to bring extra money to the table. So that reminds me back about 2006, 2005, where people were pretty much, paying top dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Then the market crashed, and they don't have enough equity to get out of the problem. So
that's something I don't foresee happening now. Where
I don't see it.
The prices are still going up, so I don't really think that it's going to be like I paid too much for this house and now I have negative equity in the home. But what I am seeing is people putting their houses on the market and just thinking that they're going to get 5 offers no matter what.
Yeah.
When actually what is affecting it is maybe condition of the house, how easy is it to actually get in the home, to view the home, and then on top of that, what type of work is your real estate agent actually doing for you?
Like in regards to marketing or?
In regards to marketing, in regards to actual customer service, because even though they might be really good with you, are they actually communicating with the other buying agents that are reaching out about your house?
That's a good, I'm glad that you brought it up because that's something that I see a lot when I do speak to some sellers that actually, which is hard to say in this market, expired or decided to sell for sale by owner. They actually tried to sell with an agent before.
Yeah.
So when they were selling with that other agent before, at that time, they were like, the agent really didn't do nothing, so I don't want to hire you. So it kind of gives real estate professionals a bad name in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, there's a couple things that went wrong there. One, the agent maybe didn't use his knowledge or lack of thereof to actually price the property correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do any real marketing to the property. That's a huge thing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if somebody goes out there and they're claimed to be a professional, there's a lot of things that they need to know. Number one is pricing is everything. Yeah. I don't care what kind of market we are in. If you overprice that property, it's going to sit on the market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's properties out there right now that are sitting on the market 60, 70, 80 days, and eventually they'll get an offer, but I can almost guarantee you they'll get an offer day one. They're just not going to get an offer the amount that they want. They're going to get an offer at what the market is saying that it's worth, which is what it's worth, because the market speaks.
Not to cut you off, something that a lot of sellers are always worried about is you're going to price my house too low. And I think that's 100% a myth. It's
a myth.
You can't price a house too low. If it's too low, there's going to be 20 people who see that it's priced too low, and you're going to start a bidding war. And there you go. Your price goes right back up.
So I'll tell you a story that happened to me a couple years back. And whoever's listening that was around when I did this will probably laugh about this. So my old brokerage will probably laugh about this because that's when we did it. But I had a bet with one of those sellers that I could sell the house at market value, even though we priced the house at $1. By the way, for you realtors out there, do not do it because I can promise you you'll get a fine. So don't do it. But I did price it at $1, and we had a bidding war. We had over 18 offers, and we got 287 for the property.
Exactly.
They only wanted 280.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't price a house too low.
No.
Because even though we're experts in the market, there are many other experts in the market who are going to see that it's priced too low, and they're going to go for it. They're going to
submit an offer, and then they know that it's priced too low, so they're probably going to come high anyway. They're going to come at market, and then from there, what's going to happen is then you'll start getting a bidding war because you're priced under market. So sometimes it's better to even price under market just to get that traffic in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying go crazy under market. Don't be 40,000 under market, because obviously that will leave money on the table some way somehow.
So on the other end of the scale, let's say you overprice a house. What happens then?
Traffic is so low, if any.
Exactly. If you overprice a house and let's say it's 300,000 in an area that's only selling for 270, nobody's gonna really want to go look at it because they know this house is overpriced and they don't want to submit an offer and offend the seller.
Yeah, and one of the things too you have to understand is that a buyer that's been burned before and is still looking on a situation where the seller wouldn't reduce the price, that buyer won't look at that house because they'll know that it's not market value, and they know they might run into the same thing with the new seller as they did with the old seller, so they won't buy the home.
So now the home is sitting on the market for 60 days while we're in the seller's market.
Which is crazy.
Now,
who do you fault on that? Do you fault the seller? Do you fault the agent?
Both.
I don't. I fault the agent 100%.
Why wouldn't the sellers be?
Because the agent, listen. So let me ask you a question. So you can see where I'm coming from. As the agent, shouldn't the agent be smart enough to make the decision on making sure that they tell the seller what the best price is? Isn't he the professional?
Of course.
So why take the listing if the seller's not reasonable?
I 100% agree, but all agents aren't built like that. And how many agents can you call right now that will walk away from an overpriced listing?
Not many.
Exactly.
And I agree with you because I've seen it, but I think in reality, we need to step up our standards as professionals and not necessarily walk away, but come to an agreement with the seller and explain to him why. Because at the end of the day, it'll hurt them. It'll hurt them because if they're on the market too long, what is the first thing people think when a property is on the market too long, especially in this market?
There's something wrong with the house.
100%. So guess what? Less buyers coming through the door. So you still are fracturing yourself from getting a top dollar offer on your home. Your home hits 90 days. They think something's really wrong, and nothing is actually wrong. Matter of fact, you'll see this. Have you ever seen a listing go on the market, been on the market for 90 days, get off the market, another realtor takes it, sells it in 2 days?
Yep.
Because one, it's fresh. Two, they priced it correctly. They actually had the conversation with the seller and told the seller, look, this is where we're at, and this is what I'm willing to list for. Oh, well, I'm not going to sell it low for that. Okay, well, I can't work with you.
I want to tell a story similar to that. So there's a house. My buyers loved it. The house was overpriced. Everybody knew it was overpriced. I knew it was overpriced. The listing agent knew it was overpriced. I'm sure the sellers knew it was overpriced. So my buyers were like, let's go ahead and submit an offer $15,000 less than asking. So I called a listing agent, asked him if that's okay. He's like, yeah, the sellers won't be offended by that. Perfect. So we send our offer. Let me rewind a little bit. I attempted to call the listing agent to have that conversation with him. I called him 5 times in a time of maybe a day and a half. He never answered. He only sent me text messages.
Listing agents, are you listening? Go ahead.
He only sent me text messages. So finally, I just texted him my question. And he says it's fine. He won't be offended by it. So I send him my offer. Of course, they counter. But they literally took, I believe, past the offer date, the expiration of the offer, to counter. And I'm like, wow. It took him a whole day to confirm that he had my offer. Like to reply to my text, to answer any of my phone calls. At this time, I still haven't spoken to him.
Wow.
So finally, I get this counter and I call him and I let him know, hey, we want to talk. I want to talk about this counter before I present it to my buyers. And finally, he calls me. We have a conversation. Conversation is crap. He's like, this is what they want. If you can't offer this, then don't move forward. And no, I'm lying. That's not what happened. I let him know that my buyers need to sell their house first. And he was telling me that they don't want to accept the offer until we are under contract. So I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, already you're telling me that we need to get an offer on our house that we accept, and then you will accept our offer. So in that in between time, you can just allow to take any offer, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
No, absolutely not.
That's disadvantage to my buyers.
100%.
So I'm like, what the freak? Who would be okay with that? Like a listing agent even thinking to ask that? Why would that be okay?
Well, think about it like this. In today's market, listing agents are asking crazy things, and buyers agents are asking crazy things. Mm-hmm. So,
but I told my buyers that my buyers were instantly frustrated. They were frustrated at the fact that it took so long to get a response. They were frustrated at this counter. They were frustrated at the terms of the counter. And it came down to basically the listing agent finally agreed to it. This is a span of 4 days. He finally agreed, okay, I'll take your, if you're cool with the counter price, we'll put it under contract. We just need a larger escrow. And I was like, okay, cool. My buyers would be fine with it. My buyers looked at everything and said, don't worry about it. I'm already too frustrated with dealing with this guy, and I'm not under contract yet.
Wow.
And the crazy thing about it is they were interested in 2 houses, and they got into an argument in this home about this home because they wanted it.
Yeah, well,
they wanted it so bad.
Did they both want it?
At first, they didn't.
Okay.
But like an hour later, they were like, all right, you know what? This is the better house.
Got it.
And the listing agent ruined it for himself.
Yeah, well, that's an offer they didn't get. And then they're not hurting themselves tremendous. Like, only they're hurting the buyer. I mean, the seller as well. Yeah. They're hurting the seller as well.
And what such is?
That's an opportunity that went out the door.
The seller was an agent as well.
No way. I don't get it.
I
understand that because, like, when I buy, I like to have somebody represent me because we're kind of pushovers when it comes to us buying our own stuff.
Yeah.
But when we work for a buyer or a seller, we freaking are animals, like we're lions. But when you're doing your own stuff, you're like giving away the farm.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely.
He or she hired another real estate agent to list her house for whatever reason.
Wow.
And like two agents on it, and neither of you could get it sold.
Wow. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad, guys. I don't know what to say. That's sad. But that being said, that client is under contract though, right?
My buyer, yep. We went under contract the very next day with a house that was actually across the street. That listing agent responded quickly. She even submitted a counter offer within an hour.
Wow. And
it was so fast that my buyers was like, yeah, that's fine. Put it under contract.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, because they were frustrated with the first deal.
Exactly.
So I'll give you an example, not real estate related. So as you well know, I had to give Vivi a new car.
Yeah.
So I go to a dealership.
What kind of car is it?
Well, do I have to say it? I'm just saying.
I don't know. They might want to know.
I don't want people robbing my wife. No, I'm just kidding. So I got the new Palisade.
Oh.
I got the new Palisade. Not the Lambo truck. Not yet. So so it's funny. So we ended up getting a new car because what happened was we got her car, and when we got her car, she had it for since 2014. We bought it in 2014. She got a 2014 Santa Fe. So we paid the car off. And
say hi to Sonia. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Sonia.
Hey.
How you doing? Thank you for listening. So, God bless you too, Sonia. We love you. So going back to that, we took the car in to the shop. Shout out to Greenway Hyundai. Not a plug, but just letting you guys know they got great guys there. If you really need to buy a car, go see my man Miguel Acevedo. He is awesome. All right. He did a great job for us. But this is what I was going to tell you about the story. So because Greenway is so close to the office, and I live far, I live close to the Universal Hyundai. I go with Vivi to Universal Hyundai because she's thinking, babe, I don't want another payment. I don't want a large payment. Let's just go ahead and get a Tucson. So we get there, right? She walks by the Tucsons straight to that Palisade. And she said, is this the Tucson? I'm like, no, that's the Tucson. So she goes, okay, can we see this? So we see the car, right? And just to show you the difference between the professionalism of the two, they were both very professional. They both were very courteous, both places. But speed is important right now. Obviously, in our time and day, speed is important. So I pretty much put them against each other, just like we get put against each other when we go up for a listing appointment. And obviously, the guy that performs urgently and does a professional job, trying to get to the position of taking the job, that's who gets it, right?
Yeah.
And it happened, and it was a clear example here. So the guy at Greenway, I had him working on it. I had the guy at Universal working on it. The guy at Greenway texted me at 9 a.m. The guy from Universal never texted me. So I texted the guy from Universal. I'm like, hey, I need to know, do you have the numbers ready for me? Because I'm not going in there to sit all day. I'm just going in. I'm going to sign. We're going to buy it. And we're done. The guy at Greenway texted me back and forth, showing me the 3 vehicles. Actually, we went out.
Yeah.
You already saw the car.
Yeah, the car is great.
So,
actually, it's kind of dope.
Yeah, it
has
is.
like that weird microphone thing, so you could talk to the people in the backseat.
Yeah, and it's got the ambient lighting inside, so it's pretty cool. My daughter likes purple, so she put purple. But anyway, so the guy from Greenway was on it from day one. Pretty much worked the numbers to make it work. He calls me up. I got the paperwork. We signed the paperwork last night. I get out of the dealership about 8 o'clock. I got there at 7:30.
Oh wow!
30 minutes. He already had some of the paperwork ready. We were just waiting on the initial. Payments were amazing. The terms were amazing, and the car is gorgeous. So my wife is happy. So shout out to my wife. I love you. Hope you enjoy your new car. She's gonna probably be like, "Why you talk about my car on the episode?" It wasn't about the car we were talking about. We were talking about the fact of customer service and results.
Yep.
The guy from Greenway had results. The guy from Universal, once he texted me back, he's like, "We're working on it." I told him, "No, I decided I'm gonna buy the one from Greenway. We're going to sign." He says, "Okay, we got you approved," and then he got me a better price, but he got me the better price the better price for a used Palisade with 23,000 to where we bought a new one for the same price.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
That's crazy.
That's good.
Crazy.
So that goes back to customer service, and what is customer service?
Yeah.
Speed. If you're able to do something quickly, that's customer service. Even if you don't do it correctly the first time, if you could fix the mistake quickly, it's still good customer service.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why I decided to buy a car, I didn't want to, trust me, out of all things I wanted to do this year is not buy a car. But they were going to take months to fix Vivi's car because the turbo's on back order. So for those of you who have Hyundai Santa Fe's, right now I actually filed a complaint with the NHSA. And if you want to file a complaint because they are running out of turbos, Hyundai called me, literally kept me on the phone for 30 minutes to tell me that they couldn't help me. But to their credit, they did hook me up on, when they did the trade-in back, they gave me a high price for my trade-in. So
that's good. But it goes back to the same thing with the house.
So customer service was definitely there.
It was the customer service, and it was the lack of customer service from the other listing agent that caused us to go with the house that was literally across the street.
And because of speed.
And the speed of her made my buyer say okay to the counter.
Yeah.
Even though he was okay with the counter price, I was like, let's counter the counter.
Yeah.
So we took like another $4,000 off the counter price. But still.
Because you work hard for your customers.
Exactly.
And that's important. That's important. Agents need to know that. Another thing I wanted to talk about this week is, you watch the NFL?
I'm not big on
them Eagles, man. They looked horrible. They looked horrendous. Like Jalen Hurts, dude.
You need to get Louis in here.
I mean, and keep in mind, this episode is probably being watched by Luis Martinez, which is one of our team members. And he loves the Eagles, so that's why we're putting it in this episode, especially the live episode, because it's really funny that he thought because they beat the Atlanta Falcons, they were going to actually make it to the Super Bowl. He had his socks on, but you did tell him not to watch the socks.
He had his lucky Rocky Balboa socks on. They played that day. What did they win by? Like 30 points?
No, dude, they destroyed the Falcons. Yeah, 30 points.
It was 30 points. While he had the Rocky Balboa socks on. So I told him, you need to keep them. You can't wash them. Those are your lucky socks.
It's only socks.
He washes the socks. They haven't won since.
Socks.
So every L that the Eagles have taken is because of Louis. That's what it comes out to.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you're an Eagle fan, reach out to Louis, buy houses from him, because he's got to keep those socks dirty, or if not, your teams are going to continue to lose. So if you're an Eagles fan and you want your team to win, you need to buy houses from Luis Martinez. and you need to make sure that he does not watch the Sox. All right, so that's all I have for my Eagles, for my Eagle commentary. Let's go back to sellers though. Very interesting topic. Very interesting topic. Because we had a seller that we got a good price for, and it was a little bit overpriced, and but we got the deal done. I mean, in reality, you had two.
Yeah,
that you got the deal done because Henry's was a scary one too.
Yeah, that one was.
Yeah,
that was touchy. That was really close to appraisal.
Do you think you were gonna get that though? That was. Dude, there was no comps.
There was no comps, but the house was beautiful.
Yeah, but
both of the houses were beautiful.
So this is the thing. The reason there was no comps is nobody's selling in that neighborhood.
Nobody's selling in the neighborhood, and then the homes that did sell, they were not nowhere close to that size.
Correct. They were smaller. Smaller.
Or the build year, they were older.
They were older too. So they were at the beginning of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he was one of the last phases. But you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. So
we were able to work together as a team, brainstorm ideas on how we can market it best, so it's going to be seen in the best light to make sure that we were going to actually get that offer price.
I mean, you got it done in 13 days.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I was a little scared at first.
Yeah.
I was a little scared. But we were getting showings.
I wasn't worried. I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't worried.
You what?
I was not worried. I seen it. I knew we were going to get the sale.
Well, because you were handling it, so you saw it more than I did.
Yeah.
I was
confident in our price.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm confident in every price we list. I mean, we usually 99% of the time we get it. Yeah. That 1% is you guys who hasn't listed with us yet. You like that? Don't be trying to steal that, other realtors that are watching the show. That's our line. All right. So, but yeah. So I got another question for you in regards to sellers. Okay. Ready for this one? All right. Why do sellers think that if a deal doesn't go through, it's automatically the buyer's fault?
Why do sellers think
I'll
that?
Give you an example. I'll give you one example. So there was a seller, right? There's one going on right now. The septic tank is all jacked up, right? Seller feels that if the buyer doesn't close with a broken septic tank, it's the buyer's fault.
That goes back to them in their head saying it's the seller's market, and I can put this house on the market in any condition and sell it.
That's what they say. That's what they're saying. I'm telling you, I am seeing more houses in the market in trashy condition. So I'll give you an example. So I had one of our team members come to the office, and he wanted me to price out a property. I priced out the property. He has a cash offer at the price that it is, at the price that I priced it out at. And I told him, take the cash offer. And he's like, the seller wants more money. And I said, well, tell me why. He says he has a friend that is an appraiser that says it can go for $315,000. I said, okay, great. No problem. If that's what he thinks, then get the appraisal. Get the appraiser to appraise it. Oh, no, I won't appraise it. What do you mean you won't appraise it? You just told me you could sell it for $315,000.
Yep.
And then, so at that point, I think once he did that, I think the seller felt more confident with the current price. It's a cash offer, So, and literally that's the price that they're selling for. Because I'll tell you this, it's in the neighborhood where we sold Rockingham. We sold it for $259,000.
Oh.
So it's $268,000 is a great price, cash for a house. Rockingham looks way better than it. Rockingham was completely renovated. This, not renovated.
Oh man.
And Rockingham was 2,100 square feet. This is the sick part, guys. This is only 1,300 square.
Sheesh.
Selling higher than Rockingham.
And he wanted $315,000 for it?
No pool. We should have held on to Rockingham for at least a month or two.
Yeah.
But we sold that before that even got listed.
Yeah, we did.
Because
he
Juan across the street
Yeah.
had 3 buyers. One of the buyers bought the house wasn't even done, guys. We were still working on the house when they came to see it. But they saw the vision of what the house was going to be. We told them the material we were going to use, and they ended up buying it, which was pretty cool. So shout out to Juan for doing that, hooking it up. Juan Rios, go whoop whoop. But another thing too is you guys are building. What's going on with that?
Oh man, that's
you guys are becoming builder listing agents. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no supply on the market, then why won't we create the supply?
Create the supply. Yeah, I like that.
We have to think in abundance, right?
Are you gonna be able to tell the audience where we're building?
So we're actually building in Eatonville. We're building in Maitland. Orlando. We're building in Maitland, and then there's another one.
Eatonville, Maitland. Oh no, that's Orange City, but that's already bought.
Okay, Orange
City's gone, guys. Orange City's actually our first custom, and it's going to be 3,000 square feet. So that's a big boy.
Yeah, that is.
But we are building that for somebody. That being said, full disclosure, we do not custom build, right? Because Neville doesn't want to do it, so blame it on Neville. Eric doesn't want to do it.
It's
either,
really
so
Eric.
if you want to file a complaint, file it against Eric. So that being said, definitely make sure you reach out to Eric. We won't say his number on there. Matter of fact, we will. So if you
have any questions
about
about any of the bills that we are about to put in the market, just reach out to us and we'll go ahead and answer any questions about that.
So yeah, what number should they call, Nev? So
go ahead and give them the 900 number.
Okay, so the 900 number so that you can call the office will be 407-900-5003. And then Nev, what about you? They want to get a hold of you.
If you want to get a hold of me, my phone number is 407-341-7817.
Ladies, he is single. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We don't know the status. It's no unknown status. So so that being said, so the ones in Maitland, so actually no, Eatonville's going up first, correct?
Yeah.
So Eatonville's the Hurston.
Yeah.
And then Columbia's got the La Jolla.
Oh yeah, yep.
Columbia, and then Greenleaf, which is Maitland, that's going to be La Jolla's and I think one Iris.
Okay.
So we have the models, guys. So if you're interested, give us a call. We'll let you know.
Yeah. I never keep track of the houses.
Tell them the greatest thing about the price.
The price, all of them are going to be priced under $300,000,
which is amazing.
Yeah.
For being in Orlando, minutes away from Maitland Park, minutes away from downtown, minutes away from the highways. Shopping, so I mean, under 300 in the Metro Orlando area is unheard of. Brand new, at that in that case. So I think it's awesome that we're still able to build at that price. So
yeah,
I commend you guys. You guys are doing big things, man.
We're for the people.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think our clients love us the most because they're family. They become family.
Of course, yeah. Again. See, Sonia, she's even shouting out our customer service and relationship, how we built one with it.
Yeah.
Sonia was awesome, honestly.
And we've known Sonia. I've known Sonia for so many years. Like, we've worked with them for many years. We hang out together. We've had fun. Make a mean fish salad, which I know you can't have shellfish, but fish. They made a mahi soup for me. It was amazing. But Sonia's coffee. I miss Sonia's coffee. I can't wait till she moves to St. Cloud. Once our house is built in St. Cloud, I'm going to visit because I definitely miss her coffee. Her coffee's amazing. But, yeah. So that being said, it's our first episode. We're going to wrap up 30 minutes. For those of you who didn't tune in and you want to tune in, every Thursday at 5 o'clock, we go live. Tuesday, we do a pre-recorded episode. But every Thursday, we go live at 5. And we just, if we get more subscribers, more people that come in, we will more than happy start to do the episode even more. If you guys have questions, you guys can put it in the comments and we'll answer your questions as they come up. We love to hear from you. What do you want to know? And one of the things, too, that I want to reach out to you guys about, if you guys have a problem with a builder, okay, not to mention the builder or anything, but tell us what your problem is so we can address it. Because what's happening and what we're realizing is that when we start addressing these things, the builders start to listen because it's not just one voice, but it's many voices. And we want to be your voice out there. Neville stays quiet in this because he's afraid that the lawsuit might come through, but I really don't care. So
I'm just going to blame you.
What happened?
I'm just going to blame you.
Oh, yeah, blame me. But that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, think about it like this. We're here to protect the general public. That's our job. Technically, that's really our responsibility to protect you on the biggest purchase of your life. I mean, unless you're buying Bugattis or Maseratis, but even when you're buying that, you're still buying $1 million homes that are worth more than that. So it will be the biggest purchase of your life, and we want to be able to make sure that you're protected through it, whether you're using us or a different professional. And at the end of the day, just ask the right questions and ask the questions without being afraid. A good realtor is really a friend and an advisor more than they're a realtor in any aspect of their game. And if they seem more like a salesperson, just run. Just run. Because at the end of the day, it's about you. It's not about them. All right? So that being said, do you want to say anything before we go?
No, I think you wrapped it up well.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
First episode
live. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
See you next week.